Alright, so recently there has been a massive development in the milsim sort of gaming sphere, and we see games like Arma Reforger and Hell Let Loose enjoying large amounts of attention and success, more specifically with Arma Reforger, ever since a new population of players being introduced to the game, to the point where you have to play in different server regions to even get a game due to overpopulation. Popularity is so vast that it's being covered all over YouTube. You see so many YouTubers posting about how popular this game is. I mean, I'll just put a few clips up about a lot of the current YouTube videos being uploaded about this. We see people like Jack Frags, Operator Drewski, Westy, Tomographic, and many more uploading videos on saying how this game's so popular, or Jack Frags saying that this game's a new Battlefield, or it's gonna already be Game of the Year. This brings me to the main topic of this video: why I think that Squad 44 must go cross-platform. This is something that I thought about watching some of these videos, something that no one else seems to be talking or thinking about, especially in the milsim sphere. Essentially, in its current state, Squad 44 will survive and succeed only if it goes cross-platform. This is something that I think can possibly carry merit for milsims across PC, games such as Squad and so on. However, this video will place emphasis on Squad 44, since I think it applies perfectly. This video will also be set up in chapters so that way you can see at what point in time what points are being made. Now, the first thing that I want to discuss is why should you care about this? Well, if you are someone that loves milsim games, cares about immersion, authenticity, and overall wants games like Hell Let Loose, Squad 44, and Arma Reforger to succeed and survive, then this is something you should care about. Many of these decisions and actions I'm going to talk about directly correlate with the success, longevity, and overall development of these types of games. If you're like me and enjoy these types of games, then it's fair to say that you want these things too. I've been a longtime fan and player of Hell Let Loose and Squad 44, formerly Postscriptum. Been playing both these games since their earliest developments. You can go back to my old videos on my channel and find the content of these games in their infancy. So let's take a look back at the recent developments surrounding these types of games, notably with Arma Reforger and Hell Let Loose. Milsims exploding across consoles isn't just something that recently happened. If we take a look back a few years, we see that Insurgency Sandstorm was, I think the first PC milsim to really go on consoles and to gain massive popularity. However, it didn't make as much noise in the gaming sphere, at least in milsim areas, as is the case with the likes of Arma Reforger and Hell Let Loose. This isn't to take away from Insurgency Sandstorm at all. What this actually shows is that there's an untapped goldmine of players out there waiting to play these types of games. This untapped goldmine of players have been recently exposed even more to milsim content. Arma Reforger has been blowing up. Look at all the popular YouTubers playing these games and uploading content, as I said before. The large amount of players that are newly being introduced to Arma Reforger and Hell Let Loose just show the massive popularity that milsim can actually have. Specifically, more on the sort of a PS5 side. Both Hell Let Loose and Arma Reforger are suffering from overpopulation. In other words, there aren't enough servers to go around. People are having to wait in queues for a long time, and even some of the other players are having to go on different regions in order to even play in games. Prior to Arma Reforger coming to PS5, it was struggling to really capture a player base, contrary to Hell Let Loose. Hell Let Loose already enjoys a pretty good amount of success, but I mean, when it went free to play and free to keep on Epic Games, it just blew up even more. I mean, you could say, well, it went for free, of course it's going to blow up, but not every game that's going to go free is going to have massive amounts of success like this. I mean, you put a shit game out there for free, no one's going to fucking play it because it's shit. Again, as I was saying, there's an untapped goldmine of players that actually want to play this game. That's what this free weekend and the free to play or free to fucking keep for Hell Let Loose has shown. I mean, even with Arma Reforger being on PS5, this just shows how much of a fucking wide audience there is to actually play these type of games. So what does this imply? First, I think the most obvious thing is that there's a huge audience out there that actually want to play these type of games. The untapped goldmine of players that I refer to. They desire the type of games that offer more hardcore, immersive, tactical, and cinematic gameplay experiences that most games don't offer. Next thing is that it also shows that maps and other updates, game fixes, and so on, these things are requirements for a game to succeed and survive, but they aren't sufficient in themselves to keep it going. There have been countless updates for Arma Reforger and Squad 44, yet none of these have made the impact comparable to what including a new population of players has done. thus showing us that these regular updates for these games aren't in themselves sufficient to the success and survivability of these games. What is sufficient and necessary for both Arma Reforger and Squad 44 to survive and succeed is if they go cross-platform. I mean, also, given that they already have a lot of updates and game fixes and gameplay content and just content that already, garners an audience or has garnered an audience, because obviously both these games have fallen off. If a game is just going to go cross-platform at the start, but it's a shit game, it's going to be a shit game anyways. It's not going to do well. But here we are discussing games that already have major updates in development. In regards to Hell Let Loose is more arcadey and thus already appeals to a wider audience than Squad 44. I'm not shitting on Hell Let Loose, by the way. I love that game too. However, prior to its recent blow-up, I think it already had a good player base. It was doing well. But when it comes to Squad 44, it falls more into the Arma Reforger category. Basically, it's in the same boat that Arma Reforger was in. Now, focusing on Squad 44, it has been getting frequent updates for years, but yet it still has times where it's just dead and I can't find any servers to play on. This has been the case for a while now. You're barely able to if you get on earlier in the day or even maybe in the afternoon, depending on your time zone, you're able to maybe be lucky enough to find a server, but then you might have to wait 10, 15, 20 minutes in a queue to even get in a game. The main problem is that it's only appealing to one audience, and that is the PC audience. It isn't broad enough in its scope. Broadening a game to different platforms gives greater opportunity of capturing a player that will consistently play the game. In other words, consistency may be once a week to every other day. Whatever is enough, basically, to keep the game alive all the time, where it is easy to find a server 24/7. I mean, that's what we kind of really hope for the game, right? This is what I really want to mean by consistency. Getting enough players, or just enough of these type of players, will bring greater success and longevity to the game over time. This is what Arma specifically has recently shown us. At least in regards to success. It hasn't been long enough, I guess, to say for longevity, but I think it'll probably retain a good amount of players and thus maintain some longevity over time. Ultimately, if Squad 44 wants to survive and succeed, we said it must do what other milsim games are doing, going to other platforms. If it goes to other platforms, it will without a doubt survive and flourish. At least I think so. I mean, there's so much that Squad 44 has to offer that some of these other games aren't offering. Like, just the immersion that you get in Squad 44 is different from Hell Let Loose. I mean, Hell Let Loose offers you a pretty good atmosphere, but I just feel like, again, I've been playing both these games since their infancy. I love them. They're near and dear to my heart, but I think that there's a little more authenticity and immersion and sort of cinematic experiences that is offered by Squad 44 that you're not going to get in Hell Let Loose due to its arcadiness. Now, next up, what should happen and if it does? Squad 44 should mainly focus on developing this game for other platforms, Xbox and PlayStation, obviously including crossplay in mind. As noted, new map updates and gameplay fixes aren't going to help this game out of its current state. Now, let's say that they don't focus on making it for other platforms. I mean, sure, maybe the game will see some resurgence and success with the new Pacific update, but I mean, I think this resurgence and success, it's definitely not going to be as great as the success and resurgence that Arma Reforger has had. And if it does have this sort of resurgence and success, it's only going to be short-lived. This is something that's already the case. It might bring back some, players that have prior experience to the game, like myself, and it might get some new players, but ultimately it's just going to fall off again, as we've seen before. However, if this does come to light, and if they do have cross-platform and they get all these other platforms playing the game, I think what they should do is not just create a free weekend, but do a whole free week. This is something that I think a lot of games fail at, is only limiting themselves to a couple days for opportunities to play the game. I mean, allowing more availability in the days to play the games for free not only allows for more opportunities for those that don't have a good amount of time, but so too for those that do have loads of time to really enjoy the game and get them hooked. Also, they can learn from other games and make sure that there are just enough servers to go around. Because as we've seen with both Hell Let Loose and Arma Reforger, just having too much queue and just too much lack of availability in servers kind of it's a little bit of a turn off. I think that they just need to be able to make sure that they can handle a large population of players so that everyone can actually play the game. Now, next up, if this does happen, veteran players need to stop being assholes. Talking specifically about Squad 44, for example, there have been plenty of times where veteran players get annoyed or impatient with someone that's obviously new to the game. I've seen this multiple times. There's someone that has a MSP truck and they go too far into enemy territory, or they just don't know what they're doing, and then everyone just starts shitting on them and getting annoyed and impatient. And I think that this is a sort of bad habit that a lot of veteran players, the experienced players, have in Squad 44, because all this is going to do is dissuade new players from wanting to play this game. If this keeps happening and an influx of players do come to the game from other platforms, then being met with impatient squad leaders and players that just shit on them is not going to really make them want to play the game. It's just going to dissuade them, as I said earlier. Remember, the ultimate goal is to get out of the hole that Squad 44 is currently in. Thus, in addition to cross-play and platform, experienced players need to create an environment that is welcoming and patient, thus allowing for a greater percentage of returning players and thus increased longevity. Remember, acting like an asshole to new players isn't conducive to growth in the player base and enjoyment of the game in general. I'm not saying, don't shit talk and fuck around. You could do that. I'm just saying that when there's new players, inexperienced players, go out and help them, guide them. Don't be a fucking idiot and just shit on them the entire time. It's not gonna make the game do any better. Just getting annoyed at them is just going to push them away from the game. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. This is something I've been thinking about for a long time. I just really would want Squad 44 to succeed and really enjoy a lot of the success that Arma Reforger and Hell Let Loose is enjoying at the moment. So I think that instead of focusing on, I think after the Pacific update comes out, they need to shift gears and focus mainly on developing this game for other platforms and enabling crossplay. I'm not entirely sure what they think in regards to this because I've been trying to look for information regarding crossplay and cross-platform, and I haven't been able to find anything. That's why I kind of really wanted to make this video, to sort of get the idea out there and try to make this sort of happen. I mean, I know I can't do much, but it's just an idea, because I think that there really is an untapped gold mine of players out there that really want to play these games, and there's just the recent explosion of Arma Reforger and Hell Let Loose. It just really shows that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, comment. I really want to hear you guys' thoughts on this, so please comment, like, and subscribe. If you did enjoy this video, I'm trying my best to get all these points clear and out here, but we'll see. Anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next video. I should be uploading some more Squad and some more Sins of a Solar Empire too. I had a lot of fun thinking about this and talking about it. I just really want more attention to be brought to Squad 44 because it's a game I really love playing, and I mean, I'm kind of just rambling now, but yeah, I really hope that it does happen. But I'll catch you guys in the next one.